Hi, welcome to my studio and also my YouTube channel. And as a lot of you know, I like to do these black on white drawings. So it's black paper and then I'm using white pencils or white charcoals on top, just one pencil usually. The important thing then is for the pencils to be as white as possible so I can really punch the highlights up. So I've already done video 1 of the best white pencils I'd found. So this is video 2 where I found another 4. So at the top we've got and the pronunciations are probably wrong, Staedtler Lumocolor. Now they say it's permanent, can be used on most surfaces, so you can actually use it on glass, plastics, metals, not just papers. I can't verify that it's definitely permanent, well it's probably permanent, it'll stay on there, but the light fastness I've no idea. The second one then is Sakura, which lots of people know for the jelly roll white pens. This is called Brunzel, I assume, 8805, and it comes in 50 colours. So it's a nice looking pencil. Now, only a little bit of information I can find about it is that it is light fast and it's acid free, but I couldn't verify that really, the light fastness. Not a lot of details on it. This third one, Stabilo 8052, Aquarellable, and I think that just means it's you can actually paint with it as well, so it'll dissolve with water. Conté pencil there. Now that one is supposed to be light fast. I don't know. So it's really sketchy, the information they're given. It's not like you get with Faber Castell and Derwent where they really go into depth of the light fastness ratings, because they know professional artists really want and need them to be light fast. A lot of these other makes don't go into that detail. Problem with this Conté one I found straight away, it's so thick in diameter, so wide, that it doesn't fit into normal pencil sharpeners. So very similar to the charcoal type of pencils, you're going to have to use probably a handheld pencil sharpener for that, or one of the ones that got a, can go above say 8mm in diameter. Bottom two then were my favourites from video 1 and what I normally use. So Faber Castell Polychromos, it is light fast, excellent rating on that one. The Derwent Drawing White, the Chinese White 7200, that also has got a superb light fast rating, and that's the Blue Wool scale I believe, which is one of the top ratings for it. So I'm just going to go through them similar to what I did last time. So the important things for me when I'm doing these drawings might be different than what's important to you. I like it to not break too easily, so I don't want the lead to be too soft. It's got to be really opaque to show up on black paper. And sometimes people want to blend, sometimes they don't, but I'll try a few different techniques and then you can decide which ones are best for you, or even a combination of the two. So let's take a look at this one first, the Staedtler Lumocolor. So can be used on most surfaces. It's a very thick lead in there, very large diameter. So I can tell straight away, first stroke is really soft, really soft. Look how quickly that's worn down. Super soft, pretty much like a crayon. Look at that really waxy feel to it, breaking up on the surface. So that's not going to be very good for detail. I couldn't get fine hair or anything with that. 2 strokes and it's gone. But it's probably not meant for that, don't forget. I'm testing it for what I want to use it for, because a lot of these pencils don't have much information on them, and it's just a case of try it. Now if you wanted to draw on glass, there's a piece of glass by here, I wonder if it works on there. No, doesn't, well, barely, kind of works on there as well. So you could use it for that type of technique, but for this, for me, not a lot of use at all. Okay, so next up then was Sakura. Now I really like their jelly roll pens. They're great for quick sketches on black paper. They are a really big make as well. So this one is called the Brunzel, and I think the actual type is design. I think that's where you put in the search engine if you want to get this type of pencil. So more like your standard pencil, a little bit narrower in diameter, if anything, feels quite small in my hand, does sharpen to a nice point, so I can tell straight away, and you can hear it probably, so that's much harder. Yeah, it's much harder, but can you see straight off it doesn't seem to be very white either, not opaque. I'm pushing quite hard there, so it's hard enough to not break too much, but not very opaque at all. So you could use it in the early stages, but I don't see any benefit to using that over my top two, and these are fairly difficult to get hold of in the UK at least. It's not a very well stocked product. Okay, now this one, this Stabilo Aquarellable, and it's even got wrote on there, it's for paper, glass, plastic, metal. So with that said, let's just give it a quick go on glass. You see it's quite brittle. Yeah, it does work on glass a bit, and I assume these are probably wax based then, but it's not really opaque on glass. It's no, I'd rather use a glass marker if I was doing artwork on glass. Can you hear that? So it's got quite a sticky waxiness to it, almost like a glue. Goes on alright, but it is soft, very soft. See, now if I was, even if I like that, and it's picking off its own colour off the surface, so it's probably, it says paper on there, but it's not really a fine art colour pencil. Could do some smaller lines, but it's really wearing down quick, and if I was drawing, that stickiness and noise, that would put me off straight away. It'd have to be exceptional for me to keep using that. Probably not suitable at all. Okay, Conté Paris. Conté pencils, quite famous. This is a thicker pencil, so difficult to get in normal pencil sharpeners. That's a problem for me. I like the hand turning mechanical pencil sharpeners. Oh, that's super soft. I can feel that straight away. It's really grabbing the paper. It's not weighing down as quickly as some of these though, and it's whiter. That's got almost a chalky sound to it. That'd be something else that would put me off if I was colouring for a little while and I was doing that all the time. It's okay, I think that would be okay for quick sketches. I couldn't find out a great deal on their website about it. It's not too bad a pencil though. Smudges easily, very much like a charcoal. Okay, so let's just remind ourselves the Polychromos, really popular with artists, fine artists. It's the one I use more often than not. Really smooth to go on. Holds a sharp point, doesn't weigh down too fast. It's not the most opaque of pencils though, unfortunately, but pretty good. You know, it's a good combination, it's a good all-rounder. I can do fine details with it as well. So that was one of my favourites from last time, from my first video. And then the Derwent Chinese White. Derwent Drawing is the actual range. Chinese White then is what it's called, 7200. This is the one that's a bit softer, but I reserve it for my whitest highlights, and you can see why. It's really white. But that's the problem with it. When you get that whiteness, usually the thing that gives up then is the hardness of it, unfortunately. Perhaps Derwent will come out soon with something that's, if it's even possible, that's got a combination of keeping that really white appearance but being just a little bit harder so that I could use it. And that would then be the only pencil I would require. But if I was using just this Derwent, you could see I'd be sharpening a lot, and the other problem I'd have is this crumbling business, which I don't want when I'm doing really fine detail. Now, as luck would have it, just as I was recording this video, the postman came and he delivered a new pencil I've ordered to try. It's called Prismacolor. Very popular colour pencil, especially in the USA. Very thin. Now, the very thin are a harder lead than the normal Prismacolor. Okay, so it's the hardest of all, so that'd be much better for detail. Feels very narrow. I've just sharpened it, and you can see that it's got a narrow lead in there, and that's giving me a really fine small point. Narrow when it's compared to the Polychromos. Now, a little problem I just found when I've sharpened it, because they came unsharpened, so both edges look like that, is I put in my mechanical sharpener and I've got a lot of lead shown on one side and only a little bit on the other side, whereas with the Polychromos it's almost identical all the way around. Same with the Derwent, it's pretty good, a little bit more on one side perhaps. The problem I'd have with that is, as soon as the lead gets worn down to there, I've got to sharpen it again. So I'm assuming it's not in the centre of this wood casing. So anyway, we'll give it a go, just to see what it's like. Now I'm going to just fit it in up by ear, because I'm not going to bother using that one, because it's of no use to me drawing. So I'll just write this down by ear. So it's Prismacolor. Very thin. Right, I can feel it's hard, but it's not exactly opaque, so it seems like the harder they get sometimes the less opaque they are. So if I compare that directly with the Polychromos, not a massive amount of difference with the Polychromos. It's got a smoother feel, just like poly, and it is a little bit whiter, to be honest. Perhaps if I wanted some really fine details, I would just use this one if I don't want to go too white. Yeah, so it's not bad. It's not bad. A lot of these pencils I couldn't tell whether they were oil based or water based, whether therefore I could actually blend them with water or blend them with solvent. See how that pencil's gone right down now already. So let's have a little look. Let's do a quick test. So I'll write this Prisma on top now instead of that one. Okay, so I'm just going to colour each of these in a minute down on a strip, so you don't have to be bored watching that, and then I'll come right back. Okay, so I'm back. I've just blocked in some whites, and now I'm just going to use a little bit of water, just a bit, to see which ones are water soluble. So Prismacolor is not. Some of these are meant to be, obviously, some are not. So just because they are or aren't doesn't mean it's good or bad. Stabilo Aquarellable, so I'd expect that to be, and yeah, look, see how quickly that dissolves. So if that's the type of effect that you like. A lot of these companies as well make a water soluble version, so it can act like a watercolor. So the Conté as well. So you'll find with Derwent they'll do a water soluble pencil and a non-water soluble one. Polychromos is not, and the Derwent is not. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, because I know with modern pencil techniques a lot of people are actually using solvents now to make their colours blend in. So you see the Prismacolor is not water soluble either, not water soluble. So people are using a lot of solvents to blend their colours in slightly. So I'm using an odorless mineral solvent there, thinner. So that one, you know, it does go in. Try the Sakura. slightly. Yeah, it is slightly. They don't seem to go like watercolors anyway. The Stabilo. Yeah, that's going in slightly. See how it's coming out there. Now, mineral thinners, they will, different makes will, you know, have different effects. Look at that one, it's really taking the white off of it. So you're going to have to try different thinners as well. And I'll try that in a different video. So I'll pick some of my top pencils and I'll just try them with different thinners then. So the Polychromos, that blends, and the Derwent does too. Even more so, goes really creamy, the Derwent. Okay, so another thing you may want to do is see if they actually blend any of these. So I just got some cotton wool bud. See, they're not really that. Talk about waxy, it's really waxy. So that one does blend, but and that one, that's very much kind of like the cross between a pencil and a charcoal. So Conté pencil is something very different. So Faber Castell blends a little bit, right up there, just a bit though, and then the Chinese white, that will as well. Okay, can we erase them? Black paper, I like to use these black erasers then. Faber Castell, dust free, just means it's not as hard an eraser as some of the others. So I'll push quite hard on there. That one comes off. See, there's virtually nothing coming off of this eraser. I've done a review on those as well. It's coming off. Got a bit of a clean. Polychromos, and then lastly the Derwent Chinese white. There, so what does that tell me? Well, the way I'm using the pencils, I'm still going to stick with the Polychromos. I'm still going to stick with the Derwent Chinese white for the real white bits. I'm probably still going to use a little bit of designer's gouache or something like that, maybe in a jelly roll pen if I want that bright white dot in an eye or that type of thing. But these are still my top two pencils. A lot of these other pencils, as I've said, are probably meant to be used in a different way. They're not really meant for fine art. So just because they failed this test doesn't mean they're bad at all. And I'll probably do another one of these when I can find some more white pencils. But up until now, I think I've tested just about all of them. So I hope you found that useful, and it's going to save you some money because you're not going to have to go out and buy all of them as I did. See you all again real soon. Hope you've enjoyed that video, and if so, I got lots more on my YouTube channel, and don't forget, the only way not to miss out on any new videos is to click the subscribe button. On my website I've got full-length feature videos, I've got reference photo CDs and ebooks, and also the new Easy Trace line art tool. So hope to see you either on my YouTube or my website jasonmorgan.co.uk. See you all again real soon.